The lights, the sounds, the cameras, the electricity. If you can feel it, hear it, see it, chances are an IBEW electrician built it. The members of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 716 built the things that make Rice University and Houston great, and we want you to join us. Excellent training, fantastic benefits in retirement, and zero student loan debt. Build a better career. To find out more, visit IBEW716.net.
Football fans are passionate, just like John Deere fans. And if you're a John Deere person, the name to know is Shoppas. In football, it's about calling the right plays. The right call for John Deere equipment is Shoppas. Shoppas has the right size tractor from the compact 1000 series all the way up to the 6000 series, with financing available. Shoppas has great prices on lawnmowers and gators too. A John Deere is more affordable than you think. Google Shoppas at SHOPPAS. Shoppas, all things John Deere.
The following is a presentation of the Rice Sports Network. The Rice Sports Network. From Learfield IMG College. On the Rice Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Welcome to Rice Owls Insider, powered by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 716, lighting up Rice University in Houston for over 100 years. Rice Owls Insider is brought to you by The Parking Spot. The Parking Spot. We have airport parking covered. Now, here's the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Welcome back to Rice Owls Insider, presented by IBEW Local 716. Subscribe on your podcast outlet of choice. Leave us that gracious Rice Fight 5-star review. Hit us with a subscribe while you're there in your favorite podcast outlet. We're also on YouTube, if you like to match the pictures with the words. Get to see the fresh new buzz cut, the pics of the family, the Rice garb, the North Dakota family farm in the back. But appreciate you all tuning in. Got a good week of some Rice action to energetic week of Rice action to recap from this last week. On the show today, we'll hear from head basketball coach Scott Pera and one of his assistant coaches, Van Green, a theme with Coach Green going back to his home front. So we'll talk about a little bit about his days getting raised up in Birmingham. Shameless plug on the March to 1,000 at Rice Owls Voice on the Twitter sphere. You can tweet me a question for a future show, shameless follow as well, where we can get your question on a podcast and / YouTube show in the future with Athletic Director Joe Corrigard coming up next. And next show after this one, and with Coach or anybody from the staff as well. 6:30 Friday in the Magic City of Birmingham. Conference USA TV has the video webcast of that. I'll be on the audio side of things. 6:15 Houston Methodist pregame show. Then we're on at 4 o'clock coming on Saturday. That's on ESPN Plus. Sync us up for that one as well. 3:45 Houston Methodist pregame. Catch us on the TuneIn app, riceowls.com, or the Rice Game Day app as well. Some other news across South Maine before we get to Coach Pera, but Tina Langley's women remain unbeaten in Conference USA. They swept ODU and Norfolk this past Friday and Saturday. They won 6 in a row and 41 of their last 43 inside conference action. Rice Swimming swept SMU and North Texas in a road swing in its previous 2 meets. Next, they're at Incarnate Word coming up this Saturday. And stay tuned to riceowls.com for news on the baseball schedule. That will be coming out soon if it is not already by the time you listen / watch this. But 30 home games for Rice baseball this season. And I don't guarantee much in this life, but I'm pretty sure that we can get head baseball coach Matt Braga on before the season starts as another preview. We had a great, if you want to go back and listen to the archive, another reason this podcast format is so great, you go back and listen on the archive. We had a great fall chat to kind of give you a precursor to the preview. Might be redundant, but you get the drift. But every show is proudly brought to you by IBEW Local 716, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 716, lighting up Rice University in Houston for over 100 years. We'll kick off the show next with Coach Pera next on Rice Owls Insider from Learfield IMG College.
big trip on the horizon? Before you depart, you gotta park. The Parking Spot is a simpler, easier way to navigate airport parking, and you can save when you book online. You're guaranteed a spot, and we even pick you up at your trunk in our yellow and black spotted shuttles and take you straight to the terminal. Parking and saving come full circle at the Parking Spot. The Parking Spot, proud sponsor of Rice University. Visit theparkingspot.com to reserve your spot today.
With Houston Methodist Virtual Urgent Care, you can skip the drive and the waiting room and connect to our board-certified providers from your computer, tablet, or mobile phone. Virtual urgent care visits are available 24/7, no appointment needed, even on weekends and holidays. Now you can get the same trusted care you expect from Houston Methodist, wherever you are, whenever you need us.
To learn more, visit HoustonMethodist.org. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
Time out. Smart Financial wants you to know that a good banking experience shouldn't feel like you're getting tackled. Since 1934, we have prided ourselves on providing hassle-free services with a game plan that focuses on people, not profits. If you live, work, or go to school at or around Rice University, visit smartcu.org to join our family and become a part of the winning team. Smart Financial, proud sponsor of Rice Athletics, federally insured by the NCUA.
Welcome back to Rice Owls Insider and the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Welcome back on Rice Owls Insider, voice of your Owls, J.P. Heath. We have head basketball coach Scott Pera coming up here in seconds. I want to remind you that our friends at Smart Financial, their game plan is simple. People before profits, whether it's saving for retirement, finding your favorite car, or buying your dream home, they can help. Text RICE to 276-278 to find out. Now, a freshly shaven J.P. Heath, if you're on the YouTube side of things, and we were talking during the break, the bearded, growing that beard there, Coach Pera, or what do you think?
I'd say scruff. I don't know about beard.
It works either way. So you got a split this past week against Old Dominion. First off, on the victory side of things, 69-59, you take that Friday one, you attempt a school record, 42 three-pointers, and you hit 14 of them. Just a lot was falling. You held on to the lead in that Friday game. How fun was that?
Well, first of all, it was a lot of fun. It was a great effort by our guys. And I thought, obviously that spurt we had in the first half, was just too much for them to overcome. It was a big mountain to climb. And we had quite I don't know how long that 3 or 4 minute stretch was where we were firing away and getting some stops, and Quincy got hot and then got the big lead. And then, we kind of defended real well, I thought, and held on down the stretch for a nice win.
In that Saturday game was a heartbreaker. How's Travis Evie doing, first off? I know you had talked about him after the game. Then as I was walking out, somebody beat me to the tweet how he just got out there and started shooting free throws.
He's doing fine. Travis, it obviously hurt him all of Saturday night, I'm sure, and Sunday, and it'll stay with him in the back of his mind probably for years. But that's what's going to make him even better. And like I told the team after the game, Chris's foul on Curry and Travis's missed free throws, that's not why we lost the game. We lost the game because we got out-rebounded and turned the ball over too much. And that's just the bottom line. I know fans and people that watch the games will look at those plays with a magnifying glass, and that's okay. The players that are involved there know that that's part of the responsibility of being a player, but it's not why we lost the game. And so our guys have tremendous character. They were tremendous to each other after the game, and they'll be ready to go as we prepare for UAB.
Yeah, the reverse of that, you talk about defense and rebounding. You told me right after that Friday game, that's why you won that Friday game. So you think you've grown a lot, Coach. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. That was the top team in the East Division, how you were punch for punch for them for that whole series there, those 2 games.
Yeah, obviously we would have loved the sweep. We're happy to make sure we got one. And, as we continue to move forward and grow the program, those are things that, we had not done. We had not beaten Old Dominion yet. And so now we got another challenge and going to try and play the top-ranked team in the West now this weekend on the road.
Yeah, the hits keep on coming. We'll talk about Andy Kennedy's team coming up here in just a Coach. But wanted to focus again on the defense. About 63 points per game. I didn't go to Rice, Coach. I was not a math major, but I did that easy arithmetic the last 3 games that you've allowed What's been the change? I know there's always a focus on defense, but since that Friday UTEP game, y'all have really been locked in the last 3 games now.
I think repetition in practice. I think the mentality of the guys that put it on the front of their mind. I think that the staff's preparation is kind of all mixed in there. And, on nights, we did not shoot the ball either night, even though you mentioned the record attempts there. We shot 37%, I think, both nights and got a win and coulda, shoulda, almost won too. So our defense is keeping us in things, whereas in previous years, maybe those games get away and it's too far away for us to come back if we don't shoot well. And so that's another step into growth, and that's what we got to continue to move forward.
When I talked to Joe Carlgar last week, that he said they want to get fans in Tudor Fieldhouse sometime soon, but you've still been playing really well at home. Despite that loss, you won 5 of your last 6 at Tudor Fieldhouse. So what's that meant, even though you've had some road wins too? What's that meant to just play at home, because you've obviously strung together that good streak going here?
Well, for number one, you always want to be able to protect your home court. Number 2, on these back-to-backs, it's even more important to play well at home, because it's such a challenge, to have the emotional edge and to be up for all the games when they're back-to-back so quickly, especially when you expend so much energy. And when you're at home, it's a little bit easier. But there are some benefits of going on the road too, and especially during COVID times, because our guys are so disjointed when we're at home. At least on the road, we're kind of together, and that makes it enjoyable too, because it's a fun group to be around.
Yeah, 3 weeks into this, I promise I think I've done a pretty good job, not to pat myself on the back too much, not bringing this up every week, but it seems like conference-wide sweeps have been really tough. Have you seen, again, I know you're only focused, only thing that matters in this talk is us, but it's tougher for the home team to get a sweep, or the team that loses by double digits, they come back extra motivated in that second game so far?
All of the above.
Yeah.
I mean, they're hard. It's just hard. I mean, these are good teams, tremendous coaches, excellent individual players. People are comparing it to playing back-to-back in the Ivy League, and it's not the same, because it's not the same team. Playing the same team less than 24 hours after either beating them or losing to them presents major challenges, and really relying on our guys' ability to absorb information quickly and apply it, and also their ability to stick together and fight through fatigue, because you're going to have to in order to compete in these games.
A massive sports story around our parts since the last time we recorded this podcast, as I wasn't going to bother you with it on the pregame, but definitely worth talking about in this segment. But James Harden was traded, and what were your thoughts on that? Because obviously it was a hot button topic around Houston. Any communication with James, or just your overall thoughts on now? I guess I don't see any Brooklyn Nets hats in the back, but I'm sure you're a big Nets fan now.
Well, yes, I am. I got to get my new jersey. I got all his jerseys signed in here. Now I got to get another one. I'm running out of wall space. It's an interesting topic. It's an interesting situation. In some ways, I really, I feel for James, because I know how much he loves Houston, and I know how much he loved playing for the Rockets. And I can't express that on this podcast or any interview I've done about this any more than that. He wanted to win a championship here. It also became clear to him that was going to be very, very difficult under the circumstances with the offseason and the changes, front office and coaching. And nobody wants things to end in a rough patch or a weird, uncomfortable way, but sometimes that's unavoidable. And James, I'm happy for him that he got to a place where he thinks he has a chance. Selfishly, I'm going to miss him here. Love when he comes to our games, love going to their games, love going to their practices, but I've been spoiled. And so I'm certainly appreciative of all the time I got to spend around and near him these last 6+ years I've been here.
Yeah, really, this wasn't on my notes, but it really has to harken back. I'm sure you had this thought, my goodness, 6 years, these stars aligned. I remember you talking about it as an assistant coach a few years ago in a I guess it was a Sports Illustrated article. But, I mean, my gosh, Coach, you had all these 6 years together. That was an amazing run in the same city, huh?
something I'll cherish, for the rest of my life for sure. And probably certainly means more to me than to him. He's one of the top players in the world, and he's playing, doing his thing. And although maybe it's nice to have friends and family around to watch you do it, but for me, just so awesome. And I appreciate Daryl Morey and the Rockets and Gerson Rosas, these guys now that moved on to Minnesota and Philadelphia, their front office, how they treated me and my family and my friends when we'd come to games. I mean, it was like royalty, and I felt spoiled and appreciative. And so, yeah, that'll be missed. But you know what? Life moves on. Things change. And you appreciate the times. You try and really appreciate them while they're occurring because they're not going to last forever. And I did that and got plenty of pictures on my phone and videos and things to share and to keep and look back on for the rest of my life, which should be fun.
Amen to that. Getting back to the here and now, looking at Andy Kennedy and UAB. Not the first time it came to mind when I was listening to the end of the UAB broadcast that y'all faced each other. Was that your first year out in Vegas when we went there? So discuss things they had their first conference loss at Charlotte after they blew them out the night before. Go back a few minutes. We were talking about the blowout back and forth situation across the league, but just what's UAB present now?
Boy, they're really tough. He's done a great job in a short period of time here. They're really good defensively. They're very well coached. They mix things up on defense. They try and keep you off balance. And then obviously, just like most teams in this league or every team in this league, they got very good individual players, some big time transfers that are really impacting them, as well as some returners. So, we're going to have to do and you hear me say this all the time, but, rebounding will be such a big key against them. They don't want to play fast. They want to keep it in the 60s and low possessions. And, we're the total opposite of that, but we're also learning how to play, both ways. And so whatever it takes for us to stay in there and make it a game and compete, we're going to try and do, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
And last season, you beat them in Birmingham for the first time. We talked about first earlier about beating ODU, but that lead was up to 31. I know that doesn't mean anything for this year. Quincy, though, came off the bench for 16 away, a coming out party. Just how big was that last year? You able to go in, and hopefully some of the guys have a memory of that winning there is not a foreign thought when you go in there this time.
Yeah, no, I mean, for this group, they played, obviously very, very well last year there, our guys. And that was a fun game for us. And one of the best, all-around performances we played all year for sure. But like you said, besides maybe a little comfort zone for Quincy P and Chris and Max, it won't affect anything that goes on Friday night at 6:30, I don't think. I want our guys to believe no matter where they go, they have a chance to compete and win. And hopefully that's in the preparation we put in this week and how they played up to this point, that they have that level of confidence. Now it comes down to performing and playing well.
Thank you, Coach. Talk to you on the trip. We'll see you.
JP, appreciate you. Take care.
Head Coach Scott Pera of our Rice Owls. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we have the Van Green, a Birmingham guy, going back home. Stay tuned next on Rice Owls Insider from Learfield IMG College.
No one wants to fight the traffic to and from the stadium or arena. You don't have to when you go Win. Win Transportation. Enjoy the game, not fight the traffic. 5 people or 5,000. Win offers customizable group transportation with a wide range of motor coaches, minibuses, and vans, giving your trip an extra special touch. So when it's game time, remember, all you need is Win. Book at GoWin.com. GOWYNNE.com.
The members of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 716 built the things that make Rice University and Houston great, and we want you to join us. Build a better career. To find out more, visit IBEW716.net.
Football fans are passionate, just like John Deere fans. And if you're a John Deere person, the name to know is Shoppas. In football, it's about calling the right plays. The right call for John Deere equipment is Shoppas. Shoppas has the right size track from the compact 1000 series all the way up to the 6000 series with financing available. Shoppas has great prices on lawnmowers and gators too. A John Deere is more affordable than you think. Google Shoppas at SHOPPAS. Shoppas, all things John Deere.
You're listening to Rice Owls Insider. Let's rejoin JP Heath.
Welcome back on Rice Owls Insider. Rice Owls back on the road Friday and Saturday in Birmingham. The nickname of that city is escaping me right at the moment. I know a guy who will know, though, coming up in seconds. But Rice and UAB in a big one. Head on over to Little Woodrow's in Rice Village. Little Woodrow's definitely the place to be. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their upcoming events. Little Woodrow's, your local Texas bar and grill. So how about it, Coach Van Green? Birmingham City nicknames. I'm struggling, but you as a Birmingham native?
Well, if you ask anyone from Birmingham, they may say the Magic City. If you ask anyone at Rice, they call it Birmingham. So, yeah, that's Coach Pera's nickname for the city. Because
you brag about being from there so much, or what's?
So Birmingham is my name now. Don't ask me why, but kind of stuck ever since I played here.
Yeah, and I remember your last game at Rice. I think you know where I'm going. We were in, was it Shuttlesworth Arena? What was the name of the convention center?
Legacy Arena.
So I know you know where I'm going, but for the sake of the audience, would have been Coach Rhodes' first year here.
Absolutely.
Right? Van playing, and he went out of his mind. I don't know if it was 10 or 12 points all in the second half, but had a really good game. You wanted to send the home folk out with something to watch, huh?
Absolutely. It's always special when you get to play in front of your mom. So having the family there, we're going to try to do a little something special for it. But it was a good time, fun time.
Any difference now that you've gone back? I guess this will be your second or third time going back as Coach Van Green. Any different than going back as player Van Green? A few more responsibilities now, I'd imagine.
Exactly. It's a little different. I'm not outperforming on the court. You know, we make small adjustments here and there, but for the most part, we just want to encourage our guys and give our guys the confidence to go out and perform well. So it's nice to have the family support. Obviously, I'm not playing. You know, you miss those playing days, but the hat is a little different now. So.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned your mom there. Still a pastor?
She is. So she is technically an evangelist.
Okay.
So she does a lot of preaching. I think she has a sermon coming up at the end of this month, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So.
And that's not something that's fallen too far from you. We've talked about it in other chats. For a little bit after you played, I want to say your playing days makes it sound like you were a grizzled NBA veteran, but you didn't know what you wanted to do. If I can be so bold to say that. So what was it about connecting to young people? Because I know that's your main driving force behind coaching. You love the ball too, but I know you love to connect with young people.
Absolutely. I think I am a product of a lot of people who were willing to invest in me, from my high school principal to obviously my mom, my family, to uncles, mentors. I mean, the list goes on. So coming from Birmingham, able to get the opportunity to go to Columbia University, then to have the opportunity to come down to Rice for my master's, you know, I saw the value of when someone believes in you. So when I was done playing, I guess, coming out of Rice, I wasn't exactly sure which route I would go. I knew I wanted to help in some type of capacity. So for the time being, basketball is the vehicle in which I'm using, but my main purpose is to help these young men, help them be prepared for what's coming ahead in life.
What have you discovered about yourself? And I guess these 2 full years of coaching now?
I think the biggest thing, you try to prepare yourself and you want to go in, you know, what can I offer these young men? What can I give these kids? But in reality, you learn a lot about yourself. And everyone I come in contact with, they always leave some type of impact on myself. And I always try to build myself up from knowing this person, that person, and try to continue to grow as an individual. So it's one that you kind of go in thinking you're going to help others, but in reality, you end up growing yourself. So I'm enjoying it. It's a two-way street.
I don't want to sound like the old man shaking his fist at the cloud, but even since I called your games here, I've noticed how you have to deal with players a lot differently. Football, basketball, baseball. This is not just on the hardwood. So absolutely. How does you, as being a relatively young guy that went to Rice and a relatively young guy that played at Rice and Columbia, do you think benefits you right now in this space that we're living in now, these times?
I think the biggest thing is you have to have a relationship with each individual kid. It's easy for me to go out and be one way and, hey, you're going to do it this way and my way rules. But in reality, every person needs something a little different. For some people, you have to talk to them and just kind of explain to them what's going on. For other people, they need to see the visual. For some, they may have to walk through things on the court. So you have to get to know each of them individually and you're able to help them. But only way that you really can help somebody is if they trust you and you trust them. So until you spend time with that person and build that relationship, they won't trust you and you won't be able to be effective in their lives.
Yeah, speaking of, we're 5 minutes in and we haven't talked about this year's team. It's different. Just notched that 10 win in a special way Friday night. Heartbreaker Saturday. So what have you noticed from this year's team? I'll kind of give you the open forum there to discuss how you want, because this team has obviously improved a lot from last year.
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing with this team is the character of everyone in the locker room is very high. So you don't have to worry about guys getting in trouble. Obviously, with COVID going on, it has to be a lot of trust with the guys, not going out, not putting themselves in a position that they can get the virus, bring it back to campus and give it to all the coaches. So it's a lot of trust that's going on between, the players and the coaches. But because we have such amazing guys and because of that trust, we know that they're not doing anything that would put us in jeopardy. And as a result, you kind of see it on the court because high character, the way they trust, the way they share the basketball. No one is in the locker room about themselves. No one is me. It's always what's best for the team. Coach, whatever you need. I can play 20 minutes. I can play 5 minutes. I can play 40 minutes. Whatever the team needs in order for us to be successful, I'm willing to do that. And when you have a bunch of guys who are willing to sacrifice, you can really grow something special. And I think we have that going right now.
A lot of guys have improved so much. One stat that Tim, our SID, for the reference, he gives us all the good nuggets. Max Fiedler, I don't know if you knew this yet, Coach. I don't want to be dropping too much knowledge on you here, but one of only 2 players in the country to average 12 points, 9.5 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. That was going into the Saturday game against ODU. So, my gosh, what's Max done to just explode here? No sophomore slump for big Mr. Fiedler.
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing is we've allowed Max to feel comfortable in the way we play. I think Max is one of those guys you have to give a lot of freedom. You can't micromanage what he does because he does it so well. And with his ability to pass the basketball, with his ability to understand and knowing every guy's position and where the guys are supposed to be, if we tried to limit him and say, hey, just go be on the block, try to be a guy that's just bag down jump hooks, he wouldn't be effective. But because we're giving him that freedom and because we're giving him that green light, you can kind of see his skill set and they're able to show through the way we play. So big respect to Max for taking a step up. I mean, he put the work in over the summer, putting the work in the preseason, and I'm happy to have him having the success that he's having.
And another guy having some great success, Quincy Olivari, leading you in scoring. He confident is the first thing that always comes. And, he's always smiling, and he hasn't met a shot. I tell him this is, hey, keep shooting. He said, I'm going to keep shooting. So what have you seen from Quincy? He's always had the personality, but he's matched that game up with that big personality.
Yeah, I think Quincy, the biggest thing with Quincy is he's a worker. I mean, we have to try to pull Quincy back. Quincy always wants to get shots up. He always wants to do extra conditioning. He always wants to come watch more film. And with that person who's willing to sacrifice so much, who's willing to put so much effort and energy into what it takes to really practice his craft, Quincy was going to have success. So it's amazing to see him. I mean, he like you said, he'll light up a room with a smile. His personality is huge. So you have to be prepared for that because they can catch you off guard. But no, Quincy is a great young man, and the success that he's having, I mean, we're all benefiting from it, and I'm just enjoying watching him play.
But another big addition, you get the transfer in Travis Evie, the late addition, so to speak, when you got that waiver granted right before the season started. I kind of started calling him the silent assassin because that's why he's such good friends, I understand, with Quincy, because their personalities I think are so opposite. But what's Travis added to y'all? Just amazing shot-making ability.
For sure. With Travis, his mentality is just so different. You know, we categorize players as low maintenance, no maintenance. Travis is very low maintenance. Travis comes in, puts his head down. He just works, always has a great personality. He's always coachable. And like you said, with him and Q having the huge, big personality, Travis kind of allows Q to be Q, but he's still able to be confident enough to stay to himself and still have success. So, I mean, Travis was a huge addition. We've all seen what he can do on the court.
And lastly, I have to mention Chris Mullins for the defensive presence he's giving you on the ball, like what he did against Curry, against Old Dominion that Friday game, and still made it tough for him in a lot of the Saturday. In other games, he had the big matchup against UTEP too, and Bieniemy, that Saturday night game that we got out there with that win. So speak to Chris's, not just his improvement on the court, but just how he's really, I don't want to say coming out of his show because he's always been a nice guy, but right. He's improved a lot.
No, I think the biggest thing with Chris knows that he can impact the game, not just scoring. And so it's funny. He's really a reflection of his parents. And I know his dad has always instilled in him Like, you can play defense, you're going to be able to play the game. And I mean, that reigns true with Chris's game. Chris is probably one of the better defenders in the conference, one of the better defenders I've ever seen play the game. And I have to go against him in practice, so I know how well he can defend. But no, Chris is amazing. His maturity, he's the guy he's the captain of the team this year. So he's making sure guys are in line. Anytime we have a problem, he always puts out the small fires and makes sure certain things don't get to the coaches. But his defensive ability, I mean, is top notch from what we've seen so far this year.
Perfect timing, because my next question leads into you going against the guys in practice. You still got those young playing legs and in shape. So if I let you stretch a little, roll the ball out now, can Van Green still throw one home where it belongs?
Yeah, I'm still athletic, so I can definitely dunk. I believe I'll be able to dunk for some time. However, in practice now, it's different when I had less responsibility. So I was getting a lot more sleep, and I could just come in, I probably was working out a little more individually. Now with more responsibility, I'm recently married. I like to spend more time with my wife. So, yeah, I still can practice with the guys. I'm not as effective as I used to be, but it's still a good time. So they know I'm a good athlete and I'm still strong. So I always kind of use my strengths to my abilities to my strength and just kind of use my body. But it's very different now.
Man, you answer that like a 20-year coaching pro. I love it. All right, final debate. Settle it for me. Going to hit up some DoorDash because I don't think it's proper to go out. But Dreamland, you turned me on to Full Moon a few years ago. So where do I got to hit up? It doesn't even have to be barbecue in Birmingham. Coach,
I guess I haven't been in so long, and I don't know the hours, but a restaurant by the name of Sweet Tea is pretty amazing. It is downtown. I think it's pretty close to where we are staying. I'm trying my best to get Full Moon Saturday evening. Obviously, because of COVID, I can't just hop in an Uber and get it. Mm-hmm. So I have to try to figure out a way to get it dropped off at the hotel. And all of the guys have been asking, can I take them to a barbecue spot? So I'm trying to see if we can, hopefully the games go well. I can cater in to Full Moon, but we'll see. But no, I think Sweet Tea is a good place to start. Obviously, Full Moon, Dreamland, you can never go wrong. I mean, Birmingham has some hidden gems as far as restaurants. So maybe we can get out, walk around together. We can go somewhere.
I don't mind. I can eat. And this has been a later in midlife barbecue renaissance. I've gone to a lot more Texas barbecue spots. So what would you say? Like, I'm not going to hear, and I'm not just going to sit here and preach all Texas to you because you're the Alabama guy. So what would you say makes Alabama barbecue specifically good? Because I'm not going to hear and say it's better than Texas barbecue, but we can still agree to be friends. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, so I struggle because I haven't found that spot for me in Texas. So like Good Company I've had, they're solid. Emmer's Barbecue, obviously they're solid. Yeah. Papa's Barbecue. But I haven't had anything that I just genuinely love the way I love Full Moon or Dreamland. And I can't tell you exactly why that is. Maybe it's the sauce. Maybe it's just the texture of the barbecue. I do love pulled pork. Baked beans is a big part of it. So I haven't found that niche here in Houston. So I might have to get some recommendations from you on that.
The first two, the Pit Room, it's there off Westheimer.
I have that. Pit Room is good. Pit Room is good. And then
I don't want to be offending anybody, and this is kind of segueing into another podcast, Van and JP's Barbecue Pit.
Exactly.
But Killen's down in Pearland.
So everyone says Killen's. Every time I go, the line is so long, and it's like I'm not willing to wait. But
there's a reason, Coach.
One day I'll check it out.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. Be seeing you soon. And thanks for joining us here on Rice House Insider. Thank you, sir.
Good. I appreciate your time, man. See you soon.
Coach Van Green. See, I've gotten better at it, Coach. Coach Van Green. I've been knowing him a while. Stay tuned here. I'll wrap out Rice Owls Insider right after this from Learfield IMG College.
The Wyndham Houston Medical Center Hotel and Suites is the preferred hotel for anybody visiting the Medical Center, the Museum District, or Rice University. We offer the largest suites in the Medical Center, complete with full kitchens, and our full-service restaurant and outdoor pool will make your stay complete. We look forward to having you experience the Wyndham Houston Medical Center Hotel and Suites soon. And if you need a group rate or need 10 or more rooms, don't forget to call 713-528-7744. That's 713-528-7744.
Rice fans, need a place to stay while watching your Owls play ball? Located just steps from campus is the Hilton Houston Medical Center. Visit us today at houstonplaza.hilton.com or call 713-313-4000 to get that special Rice discount. Again, that's houstonplaza.hilton.com or call 713-313-4000 to get that special Rice discount now.
Have no post-game plans? You do now. Head down the street to Little Woodrow's in Rice Village and relax over indoor and outdoor games, sports, and drink specials that a college student cannot refuse. All you have to do is bring your student ID to enjoy $2.50 domestic drafts. Also, don't miss out on our Monday college nights as we've got $2 domestic drafts and $3 shots. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on all our upcoming events and specials. Little Woodrow's, the official Rice Owls game day headquarters.
The members of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 716 built the things that make Rice University and Houston great, and we want you to join us. Build a better career. To find out more, visit IBEW716.net.
Thank you again to head coach Scott Pera, assistant coach Van Green. And you know what? Thanks to you for tuning in to the podcast. Appreciate everybody for clicking a subscribe on the podcast outlet of your choosing and on YouTube as well. The podcast side, give us that 5-star rating. That will help us out too. But anytime you want to ask us a question, you can give me a line on Twitter at Rice House Voice. Shameless plug on that march to 1,000 followers on my end. Remember, Rice basketball coming up this weekend. We're at UAB 6:30 Friday, 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Both those games on Learfield IMG College. I'll have that audio side of it. 6:15 Houston Methodist pregame Friday. And you can hear it on the TuneIn app, ricehouse.com, and the Rice Game Day app as well. Have a great rest of this day or night, depending on when you're listening. God bless. Go Owls. Rice fight. Always be kind. Punch us up for that broadcast coming up. We'll talk to you next time here on Rice Owls Insider from Learfield IMG College.
On the Rice Sports Network from Learfield IMG College, you've been listening to Rice Owls Insider, powered by IBEW Local 716, lighting up Rice University in Houston for over 100 years. Rice Owls Insider was brought to you by The Parking Spot. We have airport parking covered. The preceding has been a Learfield IMG College presentation on the Rice Sports Network.